people to drop in if anybody's available. Gorgeous Friday afternoon in upstate New York. Actually, I hate calling it upstate because to me, upstate is further east and a little north. To me, this is the southern tier. If you go north of us, that's central New York. But anybody outside of New York, you stay upstate and they know you're not in the city. So, give it a little bit longer if anybody shows up. If not, I'll just call it good and I'll ramble on anyway. So, another couple seconds, we'll be a minute in, and then I'm just gonna go. Hey Teresa, how are you? Good to see you, 5x5, that's good. So I haven't really been doing any videos at all because I am bedridden like 90% of the time. Celtic Grandma, oops, how you guys doing? Good to see you. So I finally got a surgery date, August 8th. I'm going in for what they call a TILF, and it's a type of fusion surgery, but they also put in like a shim where the disc used to be. And what that shim is going to do is it's going to straighten out my scoliosis and the rest of my back so that hopefully I don't end up with more blown discs and more problems going forward. So on one hand, I'm looking forward to that because I'm sick of being in pain. I'm sick of being useless. I've binge watched just about everything I can binge watch. I can't get up to cook, and it just really sucks. I have like zero quality of life right now. So that's good. What's bad is that we don't have the outhouse dug yet. We don't have the outdoor shower done yet. And when I'm recovering, I am not going to be able to walk to what's left of the house and shower and use the restroom there. So, it wouldn't be such a big deal, except, we are down to 0 employees now. Hey, Shannon, how are you? Heaven's Fire, good to see you guys. Heaven's Fire in North Dakota. I thought you were from Minnesota. What are you doing over there? Well, safe travels. I think I remember you saying you were going to be traveling, so hope everything's good and hope everybody's safe. So now it's just down to physical labor being my husband and our teenager, and the teenager works 2 jobs, so her time is very limited too. So hopefully he can get that done within the next couple weeks so that I'm able to use facilities without having to try to limp all the way to the house, because frankly it's hard enough now. I can't imagine when I'm post-op and in a back brace and things like that. Given the current what they're calling the technology outage today, I am nervous about going into the hospital. As far as I know, our local hospitals are unscathed by this, but doesn't mean they won't be in the future. So I want to get this done. I want to get it over with. With everything going on between the assassination attempt, between this outage that, frankly, if anybody remembers when AT&T had their outage, at first they said it was an update gone wrong, and then there were whistleblowers and it came out that it was a hack, and now all of our data is compromised. And yeah, so family reunion. That's awesome that your family still does those Heaven's Fire. My family quit doing them when my grandparents died. So it's been since like 1994 since they've had one. If they have had one, I'm not invited to it, which is no surprise. I'm kind of the black sheep of the family. So, but good for you. That's awesome. Ranjit, Renko, how are you guys? Nice to see you. Once ate 75 slices of American cheese and went temporarily blind. Yeah, that's funny. That stuff's not really cheese, though, is it? So Teresa, I mean, we could do that, but you know, the insurance hasn't come through. My husband's lost a lot of work. Um, it is a possibility we might have to get there, but you know, we'll see what happens when it gets closer to surgery. Um, so hi from Nigeria. Hi Ranjit. Um, let's see here. Am I missing anyone? I think I got everybody so far. So yeah, so it's hard to say what's going to happen. I have been emailing and calling the lawyer's office every day for the last 2 weeks. I talked to his assistant yesterday morning. She assured me that he would call me yesterday, and I've heard nothing. So I'm going to give it till about 2:30, and I'm going to give them a call again. I'm really freaking out. This should have been done by now, or at least be in the negotiating phase. And if it is being negotiated, hi Coffee, how are you? Happiness index. No, we don't need any software engineers, but thank you. So it's really adding to my anxiety level big time. Not knowing like what stage of this we're in. Are we going to be able to get into something before winter? Because there is literally no place around here that is big enough for a family of 5 that will allow our farm dogs and our cats, not to mention we have farm animals. We cannot be away from our property. It's not an option. So I need to know from him where we stand, because if this is going to continue and we're not going to be able to have a home before winter, we need to figure something else out. And I don't really know what that's going to be. Hey ETP, how you doing? Good to see you. So yeah, so please continue to pray that we hear something soon. You know, the little bit of good news I did get from my doctor's office, though, when I told them about our current living situation. Hey, Orlando Prepper, how are you? Let me do something here that I've wanted to do for a while, but I haven't seen you. There you go. So, yeah, so anyway, the doctor's office, when I was telling them about our living situation and how it's kind of up in the air and pretty primitive right now, they did say that they will be making arrangements to send a home health nurse out to our cabin to do like wound dressing changes and things like that, because as it is now, I'm gonna have like almost zero help when this happens. My husband has some projects that he's committed to that he will be back to work, which isn't a bad thing. We need it, you know. And the teenager had a pre-planned family vacation that she will be out for, and she's my right-hand person. I mean, I really don't know what I'm going to do without her. So it's going to be me and the 12-year-old and the 10-year-old here most of the time. So hard to say what's going to happen there. I mean, I'm sure I'll be okay. And the 12-year-old is really responsible when she has to be. So I guess we'll see. You know, it's just so much is up in the air. And when I see that not only am I currently in our personal SHTF still from April, seeing things happening like the assassination attempt, like the current, you know, I'm just going to flat out say it's a hack job. You know, they always say this, and I love my mods. They're the best. So, and seeing these things happen while I'm currently in this situation is literally scaring the shit out of me. Like, if I just had our house, our other preps are pretty much in order, or like what we've used of our preps living in this situation can still be replaced as of right now. But, you know, how do you do this without a house? It's like, so the preps that we do have, some are in the barn, some are in sheds, some are in a storage unit. You know, even things that we've needed like day to day, I've had to buy because they're stored somewhere and we don't know where. Everything else is, you know, I'm kind of choking up a little bit because it is really overwhelming. especially when you know you have the stuff, but it's not where you can get to it. And maybe if I was in better physical condition, I could go get it, or I could be more of a help, or I would actually know where the stuff got put while it was getting packed and put away. But pretty much being an invalid is not fun. It's not fun. It's a huge feeling of helplessness. But on the positive side of things, you know, there is still time, I think. I don't know how much, but living this way has taught us a lot about like what our limits are, what we would do different if this was going to be long term, and you know, the other types of things that we would want in place if it was going to be long term. So on top of all that, I am finishing up the last couple hours of a 3-day Facebook jail sentence. They got me for, thanks ETP, I appreciate it. Hope you're cooking something good. But they got me for a meme I shared on my personal page back in 2022. And they actually had the audacity to say it was child sexual exploitation. It was a meme of a photo like from probably the late 70s, early 80s. And one kid is like pooping on the floor while his brother has a dog behind him getting his groove on. And, you know, the caption was like something like, oh my God, you know, Bobby's shitting on the carpet and Billy's getting humped by the dog. Grab the camera, you know? So it was like basically a commentary on, you know, the parents would rather grab the camera than break up the situation. But thanks, coffee. I probably won't be here still at 2. My back's killing me sitting up in the chair, so it's probably not going to be that long. But thank you for coming. I appreciate it. 11:30 a.m. there, yeah. 11:30 a.m. I was still trying to, you know, drag my ass to the house to get a shower. Hey, Devil Dog, how are you? Still praying for you, man. I'm glad you're, you know, up and around and doing the YouTube thing. We've been thinking about you. You know, whenever I start worrying about my surgery, I think about what you just had to go through, and, you know, it makes mine look like small potatoes. So you hang in there, and I'm really glad to see that you're on the mend. That's really awesome, man. So, I forgot what I was even talking about. It's been a rough couple days, and, you know, I've got text messages coming in through, so they're distracting me too. But, anywho, oh, the Facebook jail thing. Yeah. So, you know, I've been pretty good the last couple years. I've never had a 30-day stint. I think my longest stint ever was like 7 days, and that was for something somebody else posted on my wall. So if they've got to go back, you know, 2 years and ding me for that, whatever, you know. But still, it hurts. It hurts, you know, my STP presence, because I do have 2,700 plus followers on Facebook, and I've only got like 870 some here. So if you guys can help get the word out, that'd be great. You know, I'm not looking to get rich, but I am looking to educate some more. Once this surgery's over and I have a home, I really want to get back into my, you know, prep steading videos and my Ask a Prep Steader series, and, you know, see what I can do to help everybody else out. Because let's face it, you know, even if World War III doesn't happen, even if the election goes off smoothly, even if the economy sees a little bit of a rebound, those things are all temporary. And things have been set in motion for a long time for things to get, you know, worse and worse and worse. And they're not going to get, if they do get any cheaper, it's going to be very little, and it's going to be temporary. You know, we've been dug in such a hole that it's going to be a long time to get out of. So if you care about your food supply and what's going into your family's bodies, if you care about, you know, saving money and being ready for the future, or at least leaving preparedness situations for your kids after we're gone, even if it doesn't happen in our lifetime. I mean, that stuff's all important. So hopefully, you know, this all gets resolved soon and I can get back into that. Hi, Tuck. How are you? Good to see you. Cha-Cha. Good to see you. Eating soup would be hard. Yeah, I'll tell you what, Devil Dog, I hear you. After I had my my cervical disc replacements, they actually, I don't know if you guys can see the scar here, but they actually cut through the front of my throat and through my vocal cords and my windpipe and all that to get to my discs there. And so swallowing and talking and you know, that type of thing, that was hard for weeks and weeks. I couldn't even yell until probably a month or two ago, and this surgery was back in June. So you try having 3 kids at home and not being able to yell. I mean, it was rough. So you hang in there, do what they tell you to do, and you know, you'll be on the mend for sure. Hey, prepping artists, how are you guys? It's good to see you. I caught you guys on the All American Preppers Ladies Night the other week. Was it the other week? Being in bed all the time, the days just run together. I have no concept of time anymore. And that was really awesome to, you know, hear your story and see all that. So, what did I miss? What's insane? I missed it. Unless you're talking about them slitting my throat. Yeah, that was a scary part, but I'm just glad they didn't video that, because I don't think I could stand seeing my own throat slit. A couple people I've known in my life I wouldn't mind seeing, but no, I better not say that. I'll get flagged. It's a joke, YouTube. Yeah, it was rough. But you know, it was a quick recovery. This one on my lower back is going to be a longer recovery than my neck was. So with my neck, I had to be in bed about a week, couldn't lift for like a month. You know, I had to take it easy, whatnot, but I could drive like after 2 weeks. This, they're saying it could be up to a month before I'm allowed to drive again. I'm going to have a brace on 24 hours a day. The only time it comes off is when I'm showering. You know, it's a longer recovery, but you know, hopefully by the time summer rolls around next year, I'll be back into gardening, kayaking, motorcycle riding, all the things that I love and I don't get to do anymore. So, yeah. So I am looking forward to it, even though it's going to be more pain. I'm used to pain. I just want this to be over with so I can be functional. So, see you later, ETP. Thanks for popping in. I appreciate it. So any questions, comments, concerns, prayer requests, intel that anybody else has heard, topics you want to talk about? I have a little bit longer before I'm going to have to call it quits, so. Anyone? Bueller? I get sick of talking about myself all the time. I feel like I'm dumping on y'all, so this is about the extent of the social interaction I get most of the time, aside from some texts from another channel and my best friend. This is it, guys, for me, so glad to be out of the car. Yeah, those hard trips are not fun, but it'll be worth it for your reunion, right? You know, how often do you get to do that? So I'm really hoping that my kids stay in touch when they're older. They really don't have much contact with their cousins and things like that. So if the 3 younger ones at least can keep in touch with each other, you know, I'll be happy. Dump all you want. Yeah, I mean, the dumping's pretty much done. I mean, nothing else has changed. You know, no house, lots of pain. Nothing really getting done that we need to get done because weather, you know, we've had some local wow, 23 years since the last reunion. There you go, Tuck. Hey, sometimes it's the quality of the company you keep, not the quantity, right? You know, Orlando Prepper, I wouldn't doubt that. I definitely think if it wasn't an inside job, they definitely knew something and looked the other way. Um, just like I think this whole network upgrade issue is a hacking cover-up, just like AT&T was. I mean, they lied to us. Oh, that's really cool, Heavens Fire. That's awesome. But the whole AT&T cover-up was an upgrade gone wrong. Remember that? And then, you know, some whistleblowers started coming out, and then it's like, oops, yeah, it was a hack. Sorry. Now here, all your data's compromised. Well, at least it wasn't all the data. So they're saying, but I don't believe that either. But call logs and location data. I don't really know what anybody's gonna do with that for us small folk, but if there's some high-profile people and they can get their call logs and location data, I mean, that might have been something big. So, yeah, you know, honestly, as far as this attempt goes and the election, um, I'm leery of elections anymore after what happened last time. So it's like, does our vote really count? And so what I wanted to do was, I was actually going to write in the Livingston man on my ballot this year, just because, you know, neither side really has all of our interests at heart. And everybody, like, I know Trump is less owned, but he's still beholden to certain people and donors and things. And I don't agree with a lot of his decisions, especially when it came to the pandemic and Fauci and the jab and everything else. So I was going to write in Livingston man, but then this happened. And I'm more compelled now than ever just to place my vote for Trump, simply for the reason that I want those vote numbers for him to go up. Even if they steal it again, I can't in good conscience, like, throw my vote away to somebody who's not going to win. You know, as much as I love Hudson Valley and the Livingston man, I gotta check that box, just to, you know, say, hey, here's one more assholes, you know? So that's where I stand on that. But, my my back's really starting to twang and pang. So yeah, imagine that, Orlando Prepper. And why don't we have all the Epstein transcripts yet? I mean, isn't that a little convenient? They have all that. Why don't they do anything with it? Because, you know, that there's people on that they want to protect. And right, exactly, Heaven's Fire. So that's why, I mean, I'm ticking Trump, even though, I mean, he's not my ideal candidate. I don't know that my ideal candidate actually exists, not unless Christ starts walking the earth again. But you know, he's the best we got, and I need to, you know, make a statement. So that statement was going to be a big middle finger to everybody when I wrote in the Livingston man, but with the way they're ramping things up, you know, I've got to do my duty here. The other thing too is that, you know, I've seen a lot of sources, and the most reliable one, and I know Fox News is reporting it now, but a journalist from townhall.com reported it first, as far as I know, is that by this weekend, Biden will be dropping out of the race. He's not going to be resigning as president, as far as I can tell, but he will be dropping out of the race for re-election. And allegedly, he will be handing it over to Kamala Harris, because she's the only one that can take over those campaign donations that were given to Biden, because she's already on the ticket. But here's what I'm wondering. What happens if he resigns, gives the presidency to Kamala, she appoints a vice president, because I'm pretty sure that's how it works, like Newsom or Shapiro or Whitmer, or pick your liberal fascist. Then if she gets them as their vice president, can then she drop out of the race and can they take over those campaign funds? How does that work? Um, yeah, I heard Obama told him to go too. Yeah, Tuck, that's sad because there's a lot of situations like that. There's a missing persons case here from a long time ago. Um, that they pretty much know who did it. They have some ideas of where they might find her, but because of the expense and stuff that would be involved, they don't seem to care. So it's sad that that's how it goes, um, unfortunately. And, I know people have told law enforcement what they know, and it just goes nowhere. So you'll have that. Um, See, Orlando, you know more about it than I do, but I know that was some of the commentary that I've seen was that, they didn't want to lose those Biden campaign funds, so that's why it would go to Harris. But if what you're saying is true, then that shouldn't be a concern, and they should be able to nominate who they want. So, um, I guess we'll see. Time will tell, but if I could just get, like, if the insurance company would just get off their asses and do what they need to do, we have the quotes from the site work and the movers. We have a house picked out that has not thankfully sold yet, that is a reasonable price and will fit our needs. We know we have all of our ducks in a row. Why can't they get theirs together and write a frickin' check? It's not for anything on our end, but yet we're the ones made to suffer. And there was no way for us to prep for this unless we built a damn concrete wall on our border. Should we have to do that? No. Will that be done? The farmer assured me that he will put up concrete barriers between the properties going forward, but they can't do that until this corn is harvested. So, given the PTSD that the kids and I have, I'm hoping we can coordinate with the farmer and, kind of go on like a little vacation while they're chopping this year, because I don't know if I could handle hearing the equipment and the banging and everything up there yet. I've tried to desensitize myself and I've gotten a little better, but I'm not there yet. it's it's tough. Like anytime we hear like some heavy equipment or a crash, or a couple weeks ago there was an explosion over on an adjacent hill, and I don't know if it was the gravel mine over there detonating to break up some rock, or if it was somebody shooting tannerite, but it shook houses for miles away, including ours, and it probably happened only like maybe a mile from our house. And I came running out of the cabin, even with my broken back, and the kids came running out of the camper, all wondering what the hell happened. Like, I thought our barn collapsed. Like, it was like reliving the whole accident all over again. It was that loud, and you could feel the vibration, and it was scary as hell. So yeah, needless to say, I do not want to be home when they chop the corn, which usually happens in October sometime. So I guess we'll see. You know, my husband did message the farmer a couple weeks ago and, let him know where we're at, and asked him, the farmer said that it was ridiculous that we hadn't heard from the insurance company yet, and he was going to call them, and we still haven't heard anything. So maybe my husband needs to make another call. I'm leaving that to him. He's got a better way about things than I do, and I get really emotional over things, and I think it's because I was here and he wasn't. He was still really upset and is still really upset, but because he wasn't here and didn't experience it, he's able to keep calmer about it, where I just get worked up and emotional. And maybe that's the woman in me, the mother in me, and maybe it's just the PTSD of having to relive it again. But that's why we choose the partners we do, right? Where we're weak, they're strong, and vice versa. So so there's all that. So if anybody doesn't have anything else they want to chit chat about, I guess I'm gonna call it a day. Just wanted to pop in and say hi. I do miss getting on here and talking to y'all, and I'm sure you guys have seen me in other lives and things, but I've had to drop out a lot because honestly, like, these pain meds, like, they knock me out, and sometimes I can't make it through a whole live stream. Like, half the time I'm like going to type and I'm typing the wrong thing because my eyelids are falling shut. So I try not to take them as much as possible because they just suck. But sometimes it's all you can do. So until August 8th, that's all I can do. So God bless you too, OP, and you know, thank you all for coming in. Please keep me in your prayers, and I'll keep y'all in mine. And yeah. Yeah, we're pretty angry too, Heaven's Fire, and thanks, Celtic Grandma, I appreciate it. And guys, don't forget to always, always, always do your research and prep on.